この動画は今月19日にペンシルベニアで行われたイーロン・マスクの対話会の映像です。今回あえて吹き替えをせず字幕でお送りすることにしました。これは試験的な試みであり、どちらの方がより多くの人に情報が伝わるのか、可能であればコメントで教えていただきたいと思います。なお、日本語の字幕はより理解を促進するためにかなり語順を入れ替えています。ですので英語の字幕とは直接的に一致していませんが、内容はできるだけ忠実に反映しています。さらに検閲にかかりそうな部分はところどころ音声を調整しています。その点はご了承ください。それでは始めましょう。
All right. Well, I'm guessing this is a pro-Elon crowd somehow. Thanks, guys. Well, thank you for coming tonight. And it's an honor to be here and be able to speak to you. And I look forward to questions and comments. It's always interesting to have that Q&A and hear what people's concerns are and answer questions. And I think these things are great. So one of the things that has been concerning me for for a while, but particularly it's ramped up this year, is that there's increasingly attacks on the Constitution. And specifically, there are attacks on your right to freedom of speech. There are attacks on your right to bear arms. And, without the right to bear arms, the Second Amendment is there to protect the First Amendment. So, and you have to say, why were these the First and Second Amendments? It's because the countries that people came from, if you spoke your mind, you could get imprisoned or you could get killed. That's why they said we've got to make sure we have freedom of speech. And then, well, how do we ensure that we have freedom of speech? Well, the right to bear arms. So, I mean, the founders of the Constitution must have been saying to themselves, this country is going to be lit. And I believe everyone here has actually signed the petition in support of the, yeah? So one of the things we're doing is we want to try to get over 1 million, maybe 2 million of voters in the battleground states to sign the petition in support of the First and Second Amendment, because I think this sends a crucial message to our elected politicians who care about the outcome in battleground states. Say, okay, wow, people in these states really actually care about these things. It's a big deal. But we really want to try to get as many people as possible to sign this petition. So I have a surprise for you, which is that we're going to be awarding $1 million to randomly to people who have signed the petition every day from now until the election. So, one of the challenges we're having is like, well, how do we get people to know about this petition? Because the legacy media won't report on it. Not everyone's on X. So I figure how do we get people to know about it? Well, this news, I think, is going to really fly. So every day between now and the election, we'll be awarding $1 million, starting tonight. All right. So, tonight's person is John Dreyer. Yeah. All right.
Thank you.
So, by the way, John had no idea. So, anyway, you're welcome. Yeah. So the only thing we ask for the $1 million is that you be a spokesperson for the petition, and that's it. Really, that's it. Yeah, that's it. So wait, do you want to say anything? Yeah, go ahead.
Thanks, Elon. This is great. I'm really ecstatic. I want to congratulate you on your rocket catch last week. Big curveball. But yeah, I've been following you for 10 years. Got your biography 10 years ago, and been watching ever since. And big fan. So
Thank you. All right. Well, cool. So. Yeah, so I think this is kind of fun, it seems like a good use of money, basically. We really need to go all out to protect the Constitution. The Constitution is there for a reason. There was great wisdom in that document. And if anything, it is what will save us from tyranny, and yeah. So. Well, let's see. So. I don't actually have any, as you can see, there's no teleprompter or anything. I'm just like, what should I say next? I don't know. It's worth reiterating why I'm supporting Donald Trump for president. There's. I think important things that need to happen. I mean, I think we essentially want the sensible basic things. We want safe cities. We want secure borders. We want obviously support for the Constitution. We want, I think, less government sort of overreach. I think we want to restore freedom to the people, so that your individual liberties are prized, and you get to do what you want to do, and you're not sort of overregulated to death, which is kind of what's happening. It's sort of shocking, but I think there's something like 428 federal agencies. That's almost 2 agencies per year since the founding of the country, and more being created. And so I call this like sort of strangulation by overregulation. And this is crazy. So I think with the Trump presidency, we have a real opportunity to reduce the size of government, to have a sensible regulation, and really free the American people to do what they want to do. So. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure like these are sort of right-wing values. They seem like sensible values. I mean, like, in fact, I find it strange that these are even question marks, frankly. So it's just obvious things that should happen. So, well, you know what? Let's go straight into Q&A, because I feel like a lot of things you've kind of heard before, or people out there have heard before. And if I keep repeating myself, it's going to be kind of boring. So, better to have questions, and then the questions can lead to, interesting discussions. One note I should make with respect to questions or comments. The kind of questions or comments you want to have are things that you think the public would be interested in hearing. So it's sort of, what would people out there be interested in hearing me answer or hearing you say, and that's the way to kind of think about the framing of the questions. Please go ahead.
Hey, Elon, BJ Werzen, absolute honor to meet you tonight. First, I just want to say thank you for your leadership. We all really appreciate what you're doing. It's absolutely amazing that you're even out here doing this.
Absolutely. Well, I really appreciate that. I mean, the reason that I'm doing this is because I really think we're at a fork in the road of destiny, and this election is an absolutely crucial one. I've not been politically active before, and I'm politically active now because every instinct that I have tells me that this is a fork in the road of destiny.
So you obviously are interested in Pennsylvania, and there's even a rumor that you might want to invest in Pennsylvania.
That's true. Actually, I spoke with yeah.
Well, my first question is, would you want to go halvesies with me on the Pittsburgh Pirates? We could really piss off Mark Cuban. No, the real question,
yeah.
You're a numbers guy, you're looking at the numbers.
Yeah.
What are you seeing here in Pennsylvania and others that's giving you encouragement, and what are you concerned about?
Well, I'm very much encouraged by the enthusiasm that I see. Obviously, in the crowd tonight is incredible energy and enthusiasm. It's like, it's heartening. It's really heartening. It encourages me, because sometimes I wonder, is there enthusiasm? Is there energy to make things happen? Because sometimes, like our biggest issue is often apathy. Is that if the people that could vote just actually voted, then Trump would win for sure. So a lot of it is I think convincing people who sometimes feel like the vote doesn't matter, or it's all rigged, or whatever, that actually the vote does matter. And if there's any election in their lifetime that they're going to vote, they should vote in this one. This one, it really is a big deal. So, I really want to encourage people out there to this is a one-time ask. Just go out there and talk to your friends and family and acquaintances and people you meet in the street, and convince them to vote. Obviously, you got to get registered, make sure they're registered, and make sure they vote. This one, this is a big one. This is a really big one, and I've never said that before. So this one, you got to go all out. All out. Yeah.
Elon, I'm Senator Greg Rothman. Welcome to Central Pennsylvania. We're so glad you're here.
Thank you.
So you've been in Pennsylvania at least the last week or so. Anything surprises you about this state, our Commonwealth? What have you noticed? What have you seen that's been a surprise to you?
Well, I did live here for 3 years, so I'm not like a total stranger. I went to college in Pennsylvania, so I'm not like some guy who just like, what is the state? What's it like? I lived here for 3 years. So no, it's a great state. I really enjoyed my time here, and it's I think actually Pennsylvania is it's the linchpin in this election, you know, and how Pennsylvania goes, I think, is how the election goes, and yeah.
Elon, my name's Chandi. I'm one of the pastors here. Thank you for hosting your town hall here at Life Center in Pennsylvania. My question for you is, would you hold an official position in the Trump administration? If so, what would it be? Would you create a new role for you to help save our nation?
Well, yes. So I've had many conversations with President Trump, who is very much aligned in thinking that we need significant government reform. We need to get the government out of people's lives, really. And have America be the land of liberty, which is that is what has made America great, is the land of liberty and opportunity. You know, so you maximize people's personal freedom, and we make sure that getting ahead is a function of hard work and talent, and you know, an honest day's work. That's really what should get people ahead, and that's the only thing, you know. So.
Hello, Elon. Jarrell with Genuine Assets. Welcome to Pennsylvania again. My question for you, Elon, is the biggest obstacle that you've had in life and how you turn that obstacle into an opportunity.
Okay, I'll get it.
Well, I guess I've had a lot of obstacles. I certainly didn't expect to, you know, get the things done that I have gotten done. Quite frankly, I expected failure. So it was really just that I wanted to do something that was as useful as possible. I wanted to be as useful as possible, and that was it really. So I didn't even really actually originally intend to even start a company. I tried to get a job at Netscape after graduating from Penn, and Mark Andreessen's a friend of mine, but they didn't respond to my resume that I mailed in. So I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll try writing software I've been writing software since I was a kid, so I'll write some internet software and see if I can do some useful, you know, applications on the internet. And I ended up sort of writing the first maps and directions and yellow pages and white pages on the internet back in '95. And that it was just really because nobody would give me a job on the internet. So that was it. If they'd given me a job, I guess I would have just worked at Netscape or something. But my best advice really is just like, you know, try to do an honest day's work and try to be as useful as possible to your fellow human beings. You know, try to give more than you take, and I just have a lot of respect for people who do an honest day's work. You know, that's what really matters. So.
How's it going, Elon? Good to see you. My name's Josh. I'm worried about kids in a big way. I grew up in Wyoming County, up north, small town area, real conservative. Got an education at Penn State, economics. And it really turned me away from my father and our small business that we had. I was basically raised to take it over. And I did once I graduated, but it kind of imploded afterwards, about a year. And I moved to California, and I didn't know what really happened. We got in a big argument, and I had to go. You know, it was freeze, so flight happened next. Explored homosexuality, considered transitioning to a female, and
wow, this is quite the journey.
Yeah, and I think that there's a big problem with education that is having people. I guess my question is, what are other things we can do besides the impact that we can have on the Department of Education to help confused children that are trying to know who they are and how they can fit into their community and be productive.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I think there's well, what I think, I mean, what I see is that there's like a tremendous amount of propaganda being pushed on kids in schools, and I think it's just messing with kids' heads, you know. I mean, anyone that goes through puberty, it's going to be an identity crisis, you know. Going through puberty, like, it's normal kind of to have an identity crisis, really. And I think we should tell kids, like, yeah, you know, if you're confused, that's okay. It's like it's coming of age, you know. We shouldn't like steer them in a particular direction or convince them of something that they're not. It's okay to go through an identity crisis. Everyone does. But I think what I see in schools is that they tend to send kids down paths that they wouldn't actually go down because they're being pushed down that way by the teachers, you know, and by the propaganda that's pushed in the schools. So I think we need to tell kids it's okay to live with uncertainty, that it's normal to have uncertainty, and it'll settle down over time, and you know, and don't make any permanent decisions, you know, like decisions that can't be reversed. So you know, I think we definitely should not have any sort of sterilization of kids, you know, below 18. That's no good. That there's an age of consent for a reason. And, you know, we don't let kids get tattoos until they're 18, and we don't, you know, alcohol is technically illegal until 21, although that's often, you know, observed in the breach. But we just want people to not make decisions when they're young that make them unhappy as an adult. That's really what it comes down to. And I think you want to say, we want to optimize for people's long-term happiness. But that means like making sure, like I said, that there are no irreversible changes during a kid, when a kid has an identity crisis, which every kid has. And that's totally cool. And so my opinion is we should just tell kids when they're going through puberty and an identity crisis, that's totally normal. And don't get too stressed about it. And things will settle out how they settle out. And, you know, that's the right thing to do.
Hello, thank you very much, Mr. Elon Musk. My name is Lenka White. I'm a legal immigrant from the Czech Republic. We are all very grateful for X. I think it's the only platform where we can find the truth, and not only here in the United States, but in places like Europe. My question is, what is your vision on the future of the media under Harris versus under Trump, how it would look like, and can the legacy media still earn the trust back, and what would happen to X, of course? Thank you so much.
Sure. Well, no, it's a great question, because I think what we'll see is a lot of censorship under sort of the, you know, if the teleprompter breaks, doesn't know what to say. So I just call it the machine, you know, the kind of big government machine, essentially. And you sort of have a face on the big government machine, and when the puppet was not working out, they sort of got a new puppet. But it's still the same machine, obviously. And it's extremely undemocratic what was done. it's bizarre and hypocritical to claim that Trump is somehow a danger to democracy when what happened with Biden being removed as the candidate was incredibly undemocratic. Yeah. So it doesn't make sense. But there's clearly a strong push for censorship under the guise of fighting disinformation. But really, disinformation is a propaganda word. It's not well, who's going to decide what's disinformation? The government? That's crazy, you know. So that's yeah. So I think we'll see. This is like a very. This is why we have this petition in support of freedom of speech and right to bear arms. Is that it's under siege. It's being attacked. But really, we should have the free marketplace of ideas. People can propose an idea. They can, the people can discuss an idea, and they can make a statement. People can rebut that. You can have, this sort of, the people can decide. And I think it's far better for information to sort of bubble up from the voice of the people than to be decided by a handful of editors-in-chiefs of newspapers. That's, yeah. I mean, the sort of, the biggest point of manipulation that occurs in the media is not when the media says something that's false or misleading, but because they do that, but their choice of narrative. What are they going to talk about? Is that's by choosing to focus on one thing and not focus on another thing, that they're sort of steering what information the public receives. Whereas I think the right thing is that the narratives that are important should be the narratives that the people as a whole think are important, not what a few media oligarchs think is important. So, yeah. But they sure like controlling information. So I think if the Kamala machine wins, then we'll see. I think severe censorship is what's going to happen, and that's why I think this is the last election. Yeah.